Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, wherever you're located. Hey, Priscilla, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I am doing fantastic as well. And here in the US, it is morning for me. I know Priscilla is in Kenya, so it's afternoon or evening where she's located. But I am super excited to be interviewing Priscilla today on mindset, on the power of mindset in success, in sales, in business growth, in life in general. And so, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Becky Davidson. I am a sales trainer and business growth strategist. I have a community, Empowered Entrepreneurs Sell More, where I feature and showcase entrepreneurs all around the world that are doing great things and making great things happen. And I love to interview people here on LinkedIn and in my group to really bring value to my community, to talk about things that are holding people back in business and in sales, and also to showcase people that are really doing something special. And I had the opportunity to meet Priscilla. Oh gosh, it's been a couple months. And
Mhm.
we've talked back and forth. She's presented in my group and been a part of my community. And now I'm working with her and getting to know her closely. And she has a great story, and she is passionate about helping people really using their mind, their mindset to accomplish things instead of being a roadblock that sets people back and holds people back. And that's what I find. And I love this topic. So I'm super excited to talk to you, Priscilla. And for everyone that's watching, whether you're watching it live or watching it in the replay, if you would please introduce yourself in the comments so we can say hi to you. And I'm also curious if you have a tip or a strategy that you use to keep your mindset right, to keep your mind in a positive place, share it below so that we can all support and share ideas with each other. So, welcome, Priscilla. Super excited to have you here today and introduce you to my audience. Priscilla, would you mind maybe first off just taking a minute and kind of introducing yourself, your background, how you became a mindset coach and kind of where you were prior and what led you to this decision. So, yeah, we're excited to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Becky. And hey, everyone. Yeah, my name is Priscilla. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, which is in Eastern Africa. I am a mindset coach, as Becky mentioned. So how I got into coaching, I think a lot of coaches is from a very like personal journey, right? We start seeking and then the teacher appears. And that was very much the case. In many areas of my life, I was not getting the results that I wanted. And I felt very stuck. I felt very unhappy. And I'd say I was also in a cycle of a lot of blame, right? Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm a nice person. So this is not me. So it must be everyone and everything else but me. Which I didn't realize was keeping me even more stuck because as long as we're not taking personal responsibility for our results, then we can't change them. So I finally reached a point where it was kind of like, okay, no, like I'm fed up of this. I'm not going to live the rest of my life this way. And I started seeking kind of, people who are living well and to be able to learn from them. And that's how I ended up in mentorship. So my coach or my mentor is called Kim Calvert, and she's the late Bob Proctor's number one. And when Bob would teach, I would just feel like it's resonating, like he's understanding me. He's speaking to me, and it really deeply resonated. And I'm like, this is the way I need to go. And so I did one of Bob's programs, which was called Thinking into Results. And then
Mm.
as I was nearing the end of that, then someone from Kim's team reached out to me. And so then I started working with her. She became my mentor. And then I got the opportunity to now be trained by Kim to be able to teach people what has literally completely changed my life. So just to give an idea of things before that weren't working, like I said, I was very unhappy. Relationships were not very good. I wasn't earning what I wanted to be earning. My health definitely could have done with a lot of improvement. But one of the most painful things was that I'd been struggling to have a child for almost 7 years. And I think it's one of those things which we tend to think like it's automatic. You're ready to have a baby, and bam, and then you get pregnant and you have a baby. But that was not the case for me. And I know now that's not the case for a lot of people, just that many people don't really speak about it as much. So that was a cause of a lot of pain for me. And funny enough, 3 months into mentorship, I found out I was pregnant. And I had a very healthy, very, very good pregnancy. Gave birth to my amazing baby boy, who is going to be 2 next week. So yeah, I think that's the biggest turnaround I would say that really came from it. But it all really stemmed from understanding who I am, like understanding that my spiritual essence is absolutely perfect. And then getting to understand, okay, what do I really want? And then being able to focus my attention on that rather than on the current results. And yeah, as they say, when you change the inside, external shifts to reflect that. And when I saw such massive changes for me, of course, I wanted to tell everybody, and you don't need to be stuck. You can change your life. You can do this. So when the opportunity came to train to be a coach, I completely jumped in on it, and that's what I do now, and I absolutely love it.
Oh my gosh, I love that story. And I do find that some of the best coaches and trainers, they speak and they train from their own experience. So they've had the experience, so they understand it. They understand the journey and the trials. Even with myself with sales, I wasn't a natural great salesperson. I had to learn how to be good at sales. And so from that, you can have a lot of empathy for people, what they're struggling. You know exactly where they're at and what that transformation can do. So I love, love, love your story. The one thing that I have to say, and I am excited to learn more about mindset from you and have this topic, because in sales, I always say sales, there's 3 pillars: mindset, skill set, and action. And with one of those pillars out of whack, you're not going to have a lot of success. And mindset impacts everything we do in life.
Yeah.
Everything. And so, why do you feel mindset controls us? So, I mean, I would love to hear your thoughts on why mindset can help you accelerate life and have success, or it stops you. What is it that causes us to go down this spiral? And I find that a lot of times people are happy, successful people, and they still have mindset things that can hold them back. So what is it about mindset that keeps us from winning and succeeding and having success?
For sure, and that is so true. And even how you said, like, how it's such a critical component, because actually mindset is, or rather success is 95% mindset, and it's 5% strategy, right? You can have the strategy of the most successful person in the world, but you won't implement it in the same way if you don't have their mindset. So mindset is such a
Mm,
critical component that I think not enough people pay enough attention to, because they don't realize actually the massive impact that it has. And as you very rightly said, it affects all areas of life, right? Because all our results are actually created the same way, whether it's professionally or personally, all our results are created the same way. And a lot of people are surprised to find out that our subconscious mind is what is controlling 96 to 98% of our results. Our conscious mind only controls 2 to 4%.
wow.
Now, when I found
That's
that out, that blew my mind completely, but it made so much sense why so many people feel so stuck, right? Because everybody can know, like, if I say, Becky, do you know how to do 1% better in a certain area you'd like improvement in? You'd say yes, right? Like everybody says, yeah, I can do 1% better. It's like, okay, cool. Are you doing it? No. Why are you not doing it? If you know how to do it and results are coming from what you know, then you'd be doing it, right? So that is
right.
why we see that it's the subconscious mind which is actually controlling our results. Now,
Mm,
as you said, we're programmed, right? We're very habitual creatures. Majority of what we do in any given day is not very new. It's what we're programmed to do. We're
right.
habitual. We get up and we're just on autopilot.
Right.
Now, if the autopilot is leading you towards your goal, That's fantastic, right? That's a really great autopilot to have because it's like, phew, and it's just, I don't need to do much and it's just taking me there, and that's fantastic. But for a lot of people, the autopilot is not aligned with what it is they want to achieve. So it's taking them away from their goal. And that is what
Mm,
is causing that gap. We call it the knowing doing gap. So, like, I know how to do this, but I'm not doing it. And why am I not doing it? Because I'm not in the habit of doing it. I'm not
right.
programmed to do it, right? So
Mm,
then look at the subconscious mind. What is that programming that is now determining the direction I'm going in? And that's what we call the paradigm, right? Which is a collection of habits and beliefs with almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And
okay.
because, as we said, majority of our behavior is habitual, we can see how paradigms are playing a massive role in what we're doing or not doing. So if
Love
exactly, and it's so empowering to learn that. I think why I really love this material is because it means it's not about the economy, it's not about a boss, it's not about a client, it's not about traffic, it's not about any of those things. My results are in my control. I just need to understand how to tune my mindset to get the results I want. It's so
that.
empowering, right? Because I
Ooh,
think as long as we're giving our power away and saying it's because of this person, it's because of this thing, we stay stuck. And that's why
right,
very many people are stuck.
right.
Yeah.
So you brought up a whole lot. And one thing I know for a fact is our thinking and our thoughts come from our subconscious, but we create habits around our thinking.
Yeah.
And I remember even my mom, and she passed away a few years ago, but she was always like, "Oh, you know what's going to happen? Oh, I'm not." I mean, she always had this immediate, like if she was going to try something, she always had a negative expectation and verbalized it too. And I always
Mhm.
felt like that was just her habit. That was her habit, subconscious habit reaction. And so if you have a deep seated, long, you've had it for a long time, habit reaction to something,
Mhm.
how fast and how easy is it to shift that and change that?
So I'm not gonna say that it's fast or easy. And here's the thing: like when you think about how many years maybe you've been thinking in a certain way, right? It's
Mm,
a long time, depending on our ages.
right,
We've been thinking a certain way for a very long time, and have had those beliefs for a very long time, right? It's just like a path in the forest. When a path has been walked on a lot, it's so easy to see. It's so clear because it's been walked on so many times. We have to create a new path in essence, right? And what we say is that you have to will it in the beginning, so it'll take effort in the beginning until it becomes now the new way of being. So
right,
say like the belief is like, oh, things don't work out for me, right? And say I operate my life with that belief and I'm probably not even aware of it, because as we said, it's subconscious. It's a belief I picked up probably before I was age 7, and it's deep seated, and I don't know that that's what is controlling so much of what I see and what I do, right? So now my inner talk will be coming from that belief that things just don't work out for me. Now what happens is if I think things don't work out for me, then that makes me feel low, like it doesn't feel very good. It's not a very positive energy. And then I go out and take action in a low
mm,
energy. Any action you take has a reaction in the form of results. So it means I
right,
will not get good results. And then what will I do? I'll say, you see, things don't work out for me. And then the cycle just goes on
right,
and
right,
on and on.
right.
I've created a self fulfilling prophecy that doesn't serve me,
Right.
right?
Well, yeah, and I've always heard that we have this unconscious, subconscious desire to always be right. And
Yeah,
so if we say, I'm not good at something, we are almost going to sabotage ourselves to say, I told you I'm not any good at this. And so we'll
exactly.
always find a way to turn our statements into the right statement. So I have a question. How do you know, like my mom, she would never have admitted it. She thought she was a positive, outgoing, great person. I mean, and you don't want to say, hey, point things out because people don't take it very well. But
Yeah.
how does someone know maybe if they have some of these deep negative thought pathways, those strongholds that are holding them back? How do they know that they have thoughts that aren't serving them to kind of
So
self-assess,
yeah. So what we like to say is results leave clues, right? So if
right?
we take an honest, neutral look at our results, because we don't also want to go to the side of, oh, it's all me and this is all my fault and I suck and da, da, da. We don't want to go on that route either,
Right.
right? We just want to say, let me look honestly at my results in some key areas of my life. How am I doing, right? And if I'm rating them, say like 1 to 10, and in the ones where my results are not very good or not what I would like, then let me be very honest with myself. What are my habits and beliefs around those specific areas? Because if I'm very honest with myself and do that, then I'll find, okay, I believe there's not enough money, or I believe I'm not good enough, right? And that not good enough is a big one for so many people, that's actually creating their results to become a self-fulfilling prophecy that they're not good enough. So it just takes a very honest look and then question. Because I think the other thing which is very unfortunate is we tend to be conditioned to believe you cannot question beliefs, right? Like, this is a belief, it's a belief, and I don't question it and I don't touch it. It's just how I am, or it's just how it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. And that's actually not true. A belief is simply something that you've heard or told yourself over and over and over and over again until it's solidified into a belief.
Mm,
It does not make it
mm,
a fact.
right.
So the beautiful thing is when you're able to assess that, then you can see, oh, okay, I can see this belief that doesn't serve me. I need to work on this belief. I need to shift it. I need to create a new path in the forest, so to speak, with a belief that does serve me. So I need to make that my new normal, my new belief. And yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily an easy exercise. So having a coach or having a mentor definitely helps in terms of guidance with that, but it's very doable and the rewards are amazing. I mean, you can completely change your whole life.
I love that. I love that. So I'm assuming that as a human being, we have to be somewhat open to questioning our beliefs because especially for someone like myself that's been on this planet a few years, I mean, it is years and years of thinking the same way to kind of condition yourself to think another way just takes time. You have to have intentionality. You have to do it
Mhm.
on purpose at
Yeah,
first. How do you keep
absolutely.
yourself accountable to do it on purpose? That's the ticket, right?
Yeah, and a big piece of that is desire, right? Like, is your goal big enough? Do you have that burning desire for what it is you want to achieve, such that that intentionality becomes worth it? Because if the goal isn't big enough, then there's no magnet that's pulling us. There's nothing that is keeping us on track to do it, right? So
Right.
you have to have that burning desire for that goal or for that result, and you have to be committed at the end of the day. I mean, there's something which we hear a lot, like, you can be committed or you can be interested. If you're committed,
Right.
you do what it takes. If you're interested, you do what's convenient. So it's a nice quick check. If I'm not willing to do whatever it is that I say I need to do, then am I actually committed? Is the desire big enough? Or am I just interested? And if it's not convenient,
Okay.
then I won't do it.
So, okay. So I have a question about high achievers, successful people, because I think there is a perception that high achievers and successful people. Oh, there you are. You're back. You glitched
Back
out for
in.
just a minute. But there's a perception, and I used to think this, that high achievers, successful people, happy people, they don't have any mindset issues. They are just, their mind is, cheering them on and success driven. So speak to that. I mean, because I have found that high achievers are some of the people that struggle with mindset more than any others because as we grow, as we develop, new level, new devil. I mean, we're always pushing the envelope. We're always challenging our thoughts, our viewpoints, our beliefs. So what are your thoughts on, high achievers or people that are going for big goals, and, how is it affecting them?
Yeah, and it's so interesting that you say that, because yeah, that is a perception that we think if someone is getting good results, then it means their mindset is perfect, right? There is no such thing as a perfect mindset. As humans,
Mm,
we're made for expansion and fuller expression. We're always seeking growth. We just don't necessarily know that's what we're seeking. So even the goal is growth. It's not that when I get the thing, then I'll feel a certain way, which many people have wrong. They see it wrong, which is why so many people will hit a goal and then be like, woo, and then be like, wait, that's it. Like this is not the fireworks I was expecting. This is not the change, and it's because what you were seeking was the growth. It was who you're growing into to achieve that goal that you were seeking. So it's not about the getting of the thing itself. So even for very successful people, if they are going after goals, maybe from the element of that, when I hit it, then I will. When I hit it, then I will. Then there's still a bit
mm,
of a gap, right? Because nothing external to us is going to fulfill us. It's all internal, and then the external just reflects that back. So I'd say, even for the very, very successful people, they most likely are working on their mindset, because they know that that's 95% of the results they're getting. It's not a process that ever ends. As you said, we hit this level, and there's another level, and there's another level, and there's another level. And as we
right.
grow, our mindset needs to grow with us, and specifically our
Mm,
self image. Because what we've found as well is that there can be people who are externally very successful, but their inner voice is not very kind either. And that unkind voice is kind of that they're being triggered into action, but maybe from a place of fear, or from a place of, I'm not enough, so I have to keep proving, I have to keep proving, I have to keep proving, I have to keep proving. So externally it may look fantastic, but internally is not very nice. So there's still a bit of a gap there that needs to be worked on, because you can't outperform your self-image. You have to raise your self-image. So if I'm getting results and I haven't raised my self-image to that level, that's where the feeling of like imposter syndrome and all these things start to come up, because I feel like that's not me. I'm not the person that gets X. I'm not the person that achieves X, even though you are achieving it. But if inside is not matching that, there's still a gap that needs to be closed. So absolutely everybody needs to work on their mindset, and it's not something that ever ends.
Right, right. And I would imagine if you have that imposter syndrome and you're achieving, but you don't really feel like you should, that's when
Yeah,
self-sabotage sets in, because we need to
exactly.
get back to our comfort zone. And in my sales training, I teach people it's a lot like driving with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brakes. I mean, you want that goal, you're trying to move forward to the goal, but the mindset is putting the brakes on and saying, "Whoa, don't go so fast. This is uncomfortable. This isn't going to work. Why are you doing this?" And it's one of these, you don't go very far with if you have one foot
Exactly.
on the gas and one foot on the
Exactly.
brakes, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question, because something happened to me this morning, and and this happens. I mean, when you're working with people, when you're working in business, maybe someone says something, something happens, you something comes into your awareness, and it gets in your head. You have that moment, like, why did that happen? And then you start thinking, kind of your head goes in maybe the stinking thinking or thinking the wrong thoughts. What would you say, and maybe give a couple tips, because I'm sure this happens to everybody. Maybe an employee quits, or a coworker says something, or someone makes a comment, and it gets in your head, and they may not even mean anything by it, but it gets
No.
in your head. What do you do, or what can someone do if they have something that kind of takes them off task and gets in their head? Is there any tips or strategies that you would suggest to kind of get back and get your mind right quickly?
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, yeah, it happens to a lot of us. I think it goes back to understanding that whatever we put focus and attention and energy on grows, right? So whatever that thing was, it's done. Like the physical is the last part of it. It's done, it's finished.
Right.
Unless I re-energize it by giving it so much attention, right? So that's where the importance of being able to let go is. There's a
Ooh.
fantastic formula by Michael Beckwith where he says, "It is what it is, harvest the good, forgive the rest." Right? Meaning the thing has already happened. I can't change whatever that thing was. I can't change the person. But what story am I going to give it? Because the story I give it is going to determine how I feel
Mm.
about it and how I carry it. So if I just say, okay, that person did not speak to me very nicely, but it's nothing to do with me, that's just where they're at or whatever's going on in their life. I'm able to have some level of empathy where I can let it go. I can send them love, but not carry it with me. Then I can harvest the good. So, what was the good in that? Maybe it was teaching me there's certain boundaries I need to have. Maybe it was teaching me, that would not be the best time to have a conversation, right? There's a certain lesson or blessing in it. And when I'm able to find the lesson and the blessing, I completely change the energy of the around it. And now it becomes, I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for the blessing. And then I let the rest go. And then once I've done that, I shift my energy now to something that does serve me. So I start thinking about, let me think about my goal. Let me think about how I'd love this situation to be. Let me think about what I would love to be doing, what I would love to be experiencing. And as soon as I take the energy away from that, once I've let it go, I take the energy away from that and focus in on something else. It kind of like just dies away by itself. It's like if you put a bucket over grass in the garden, right? The sun doesn't have access to
Right.
that grass. The grass under the bucket will die. It's the same thing. We starve the negative thing of energy. It has to fall away, and we change the story we're putting around it. So number one, I would say the tip would be, number one, use the formula, right? It is what it is. Harvest the good, forgive the rest. Number two, have your go-tos, because what we find is that there's certain, that little negative voice has its favorite sentences. Like it knows the ones like, if I just say that at this time, like she'll be off on that angle, right? So we know the ones that are ready to get us. Have your go-tos for those. Have something opposite ready to go. So that when that thought comes in, you can be like, no, that's not what I'm choosing to believe, or that's not what I'm choosing to put my focus on. I'm putting it on this instead. So that you're not trying to like scramble for something, you have something ready to go. And then number three, really give attention and time to your goal. Because, like I said, that desire is what is acting as the magnet. So, if you don't have that magnet, you don't have something to switch attention to instead. So, I'd
Right.
say those would be the three tips.
Oh, those are great. And I have to say, I love focus on the lesson or the blessing. I love that. And I have to 100% agree because I am someone that something can happen and I can get in my head and I can think about it and stress about it and get worked up in my head. And I know that in my group training I had talked about graffirmations, and
Yes.
it all stemmed from a situation that I was obsessing in this relationship issue that I was having with a client, and she was getting in my head and causing a lot of stress and frustration, and I couldn't move past it. I couldn't walk away, and I started writing, I am thankful for Mary. We'll just call her Mary. I'm thankful for Mary and the lesson I learned. And I think inside of every frustration that we have, every disappointment, every setback, everything that might be stopping us, there is a lesson or a blessing. And if we obsess about that and go there and put our mind there, it
Yeah.
releases all the angst and all the stress and all the frustration. So I know that works
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Just got to remember to do it and not go down that path.
Yeah, it's creating that new path. We have the path we've walked on for so many years, so it's just
Right.
remembering to create the new one, create the new one, and then also be very compassionate and kind with ourselves, even as we're creating the path. Right, like when a child is learning to walk, we don't be like, "Oh my gosh, why did you fall? You're so silly. How could you?" No, we're like, "Oh, it's okay. Get back up. Keep trying. You've got this. You can do it." Any small thing, we're like, "Woo!" We are babies when we're trying to create new paths. So we need to give ourselves that same level of like love and compassion to
That's
just
right.
keep going, keep going, and keep going.
Awesome, awesome. So let me ask you this. If you are a leader, so say someone is a leader, they're building a team, they're in sales management or in some type of leadership role, how can you lead people that maybe you have people on your team that get in their head, get in their mindset and sabotage themselves and without being abrasive and say, hey, you got a mindset issue. We gotta work through this. Is there anything that we can do as leaders to help people reset their mindset and to give them better thoughts? What would you say to that?
I mean, I think there's, the Oreo system of feedback, right? Where it's like
Right.
something positive and then the thing that needs work and then something else
Right.
positive. Another thing that tends to work in terms of planting seeds is like saying, "Oh, I was speaking to so and so, and they were saying da 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 da," so that the person can see themselves in someone else's situation without you directly saying the person is you. It's like you're saying, "No, no, no. I was speaking to this person, and they were experiencing A, B, C, and D, and so we tried to do this, or we tried to look at it this way, and they saw a difference." So it's like it's not direct, like you have a problem. It's like, yeah, actually, I can relate with that because I feel the same way or I have the same kind of challenges without being
Mm,
so like outright to them. But the thing at the end of the day with like all kind of personal development work is a person has to want it and be committed to it, right? We can plant the seeds, we can help them see this can be done differently, this would be easier or better. But if someone is not willing to do the work or to commit to the process, we can't do it for them, and everyone has their timing for that. But I think planting seeds definitely makes a massive difference. And when it's time for that seed to grow, it'll grow. And the person will be like, yep, you know what, I'm ready to change my life, or I'm ready to make a change in my attitude, or whatever it is.
right.
Because when we come at it too directly, like they'll back off. No one wants, there's a saying my mentor said, Kim, and well, I don't know, anyway, yeah, I've heard it a few times, but I know Kim has said it as well. Nobody wants to be changed. So we don't resist change in and of itself, we resist being changed, right?
Right.
Whereas when the change is coming from within, it's willing, we're willing to make those changes. It's a very different energy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I would say, I mean, my thought would be as a leader to emulate the right behavior. So if you
Very
want
important.
to have
Yeah.
people that are more positive and thankful. And the other thing that I learned years ago, and someone told it to me and it just stuck in my head, gratitude, if you live in gratitude, if you think gratitude, if whenever the thoughts come in, if you can find a way to think thankful thoughts about the situation or about anything, about life, it's hard to have a positive thought and a negative thought simultaneously.
Yep.
So one starves out the other, right? And so
Mhm.
if you can create a system to have gratitude be your go-to when you're feeling frustrated and teach your team to do the same thing,
Mhm.
then and emulate that behavior, you can create a system of a thankful team that is thankfully accepting and expecting great things to happen. So that would be my thoughts, and that's how I would approach it. But yeah, it is. I've worked with lots of people, and especially in sales, because in sales, we are dealing with probably 80, 70%, 80% rejection.
Mhm.
People are
Mhm.
telling us no. And
Yeah.
so we have to know how to reframe a no and understand, what we're trying to accomplish and not take it personally. And so many
Mhm.
people get hung up on the taking it personally or saying, I'm not any good at sales. And
Yeah.
once you start making, and what do you think about? Because I always say, hey, don't claim things
Yes.
like I'm not good in sales. Stop
Yeah.
saying first thing you can do and you can control is the words that you say. Don't leak that language out
Yeah.
because it just is reinforcing the thing that you don't want to happen, right? I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at sales. If I said that every day, I wouldn't be good at sales.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%,
And
right?
yeah, and it's exactly what you're saying because again, it's energy, right? It's all energy. So if I think I'm not good at sales and then I feel that energy and then I go and try and sell a client, they'll feel the energy, not my words. And so they will say
Right.
no. And then I'll be like, you see, I'm not good at sales. And then it continues and continues. And I love what you said about not claiming what does not serve you, right? Because I am is a magnet. They're incredibly powerful words. Whatever you're putting after I am, make sure it's something that you want to see in your life. So don't be going around, I am tired, I am not good at this, I am not worthy, I am like all those things. You are literally saying, come to me more evidence to prove that. So being so
Right.
conscious of what we're claiming, like you put it very beautifully. What am I claiming is true of myself? And I don't have to claim what is true of myself in this moment, right? Because present results are the effect of past thinking. So my current results were created by my past thinking. If I'm changing my thinking, I'm going to create new results. So let me claim what it is that I'm stepping into rather than what
Mm,
it is that I've been.
right. I know one of the things I teach with when I'm talking to someone that's doing that, I'm not any good at sales. Well, first I say, stop saying that. But sometimes they can't say, I'm great at sales because they don't believe that. So I said,
Mhm.
I am becoming better at
Yes.
sales each and every day. That is
Yeah.
something that you can control. That is something that could be a valid statement. I am becoming more confident in sales. I am learning how to love sales. I am thankfully learning how to be better every single day in sales. Those are statements we can all make that can be accurate, that can feel good and empower us to get better. And so just I am a true believer in what we say, what we think about, we bring about, and to
Absolutely.
not claim death over our business and death over our success is what we're doing when we're, making those statements. So
Absolutely.
I want to talk about your program and how you work with people and what you do. And I think your program is, I love how you guys have it set up. So tell me a
Mhm.
little bit about the program, or tell everyone here a little bit
Mhm.
about your program and what it feels like and what it's like to potentially work with you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I work with my mentor Kim, and she has designed a phenomenal app, which is where all our programs take place. So it's right on your phone. Everything from
Okay.
the elite level mentorship up until the free challenges, everything is on the app, right? So whatever level you're at, whatever level you want to come in at or understand more, we have something that works for everyone. But in essence, what we teach you is the science of achievement and the science of the mind. We help you to really understand how your mind is working and how it's getting you the results that you're getting. Because just like how we say you can either deal with symptoms or you can deal with the root cause, right? If you deal with symptoms, you may get some change, but it won't be permanent. If you deal with the root cause, then you're creating permanent change. That, in essence, is what we do. We teach you the root cause of your results so that you can then create the results you want to create on a more permanent basis. Of course, as we said, you're always growing, you're always wanting more and different results, but then it's on a more permanent basis rather than a very temporary thing. What we first help you to understand is who you really are. Because for a lot of people, when you say, who are you? It's the names, it's the roles, it's the titles, it's all the external things, right? When you
Right.
remove all those things, who are you? Not very many people are able to answer that. And that
Mm,
essence, who we truly are, when we don't have that understanding, we're working at a disadvantage in all the things we're doing because our power comes from the essence of who we are. And then we look at, okay, what results are you getting currently and how were they created? And then we look at what results do you want and how do we align your self-image and your mindset to now create the results that you actually want to
okay.
get. So that's the process that we take you through at all the different levels, just going deeper and deeper and deeper at each level.
Okay, okay. So if someone was like, "That sounds perfect," what would the next step be? Do you want to book a call, go
Yes.
to a link? What would you like to see them do?
Yes, so we have a 21-day challenge, which is a
Yay.
fantastic resource that's packed with value. Yeah, I saw Becky, you signed up for it, and it's truly awesome. The way it's been designed, everything like it's awesome. It'll really give you a fantastic taste of the material we teach. But what I always say is book a free discovery session with me. Let's talk. Let's see kind of where it is you want to go, what it is you want to achieve, what your gaps are, and how to close that specifically for you. So you just book in a free discovery session with me and we'll talk through all of that and then see what the next best steps are for you.
Absolutely. Yes, I was excited to try your 21-day challenge, your free
Mhm.
challenge. And I would say I confidently believe that everyone struggles with mindset.
Yeah.
We are humans. If you're human, you're going to have negative thoughts creep into your head, and those
Mhm.
negative thoughts can grow and sprout and turn into actions or inaction. And
Mhm.
I, just like in sales and in business, I always say school's never out for the pro. We have to always be growing, developing, and building our skills. I truly
Absolutely.
believe we always have to be working on our mindset and helping to empower our mindset to be a goal getter,
Yeah.
not a goal stopper.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the same way that you mentioned how we're so used to spiraling on the negative side, but we can train ourselves how to spiral on the positive side, right? Because
Ooh,
a thought will attract a like thought in 16 seconds, which is crazy. So if I give attention to the negative thought, it will bring its friend, it will bring its relatives, it'll bring everyone, and then it'll become a
all the
huge,
cousins.
exactly, it'll become a
Yeah,
huge snowball. And it was just one thought, right? But I can
right,
decide instead, I'm not accepting that one thought. I choose a thought that serves me instead and put energy on that. And then it will bring its friends and its cousins and its whole neighborhood and its whole country.
right,
And I'll
right.
spiral in a positive way instead. We always get to choose.
Yeah, and even when you're really good at mindset work, because I'm sure, I mean, you're a mindset coach, I'm sure you can even occasionally get in a head thought. You probably just acknowledge it quicker or you see it quicker because it's
Yeah.
top of mind for you. But when you're really busy, when you're really running hard or gunning hard or building a business, a lot of what we do goes on autopilot. We're not
Exactly.
thinking about, oh, I need to make this call. I need to reach out to this. I need to answer this question. We're just doing what we do. And so when we are working on autopilot, that is the moment that those negative thoughts can creep in because we're not thinking about what we're thinking about.
Yeah. And that's why it's so important that let's make our autopilot serve us instead.
Right. Oh, I love that. So I would say if you like what we're talking about, Priscilla is definitely the real deal. Take her 21-day challenge, book a call with her. I'm so glad that, I have you in my life and in our community. I love what you teach. I love your vibrant smile, your great personality, and your kind heart. So I definitely recommend all of my followers to connect with Priscilla and follow her on LinkedIn, connect with her. You have nothing to lose except to turn your brain and your mindset into a goal getting machine. And that's what we want in business and business growth and sales. That's what I want for the people that I work with, is to help them more effortlessly achieve their goals and success. And so if mindset and working with Priscilla can help that, definitely do that. Book your call with Priscilla. And anything that you want to end with before we hop off today? Of course, thank you, Priscilla. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing your wisdom here. Is there anything that you want to share before we hop off?
I think the last thing I'll just say is like it can seem scary to take responsibility of your results, but it's the most empowering thing ever because then it
Mm,
means you get to create change, right? Too many people are reacting to life. This happens, I react. This happens, I react. Like let's
mm,
become creators. Let's create our life by design rather than just going with
mm.
the default that isn't working for us. And anybody can do it. It's just about learning how.
I love that. A lot of the things in my life are by design, and use that terminology because we do have control over our thoughts, over the
Yeah,
things that we do, our actions, and we have to do it. Sometimes we have to do it on purpose, and then create the habit around that, the good habits around that. So thank you
exactly.
for bringing this conversation to my LinkedIn group and into our Empowered Entrepreneurs Sell More. And for everyone that's watching, make sure to connect with Priscilla. And if we haven't met, make sure to DM me. I would love to get to know you and see how we can serve you, support you, and help your business grow, or maybe feature you on one of our LinkedIn Lives. Have a great day. Thanks, Priscilla.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Becky, for the opportunity. And I'm so happy to be working with you and learning from you. And yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.